Hi guys, Manny Chima here from Glasshammer Gaming, and you are watching another 40k tips, tricks and combos video for all the latest tips and tricks in Warhammer 40k. Please hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell below so you know when each new video is released. Enjoy the following video, guys. Today's video is all about the Space Marine Grav Bomb. This is video number 1, guys. This is all about how to use the Grav Bomb and what makes it so good. Video number 2 is coming later on this week, and that is all about how to play against the Grav Bomb. So let's talk about what makes it so good, guys. A Grav Bomb is basically a unit in a drop pod of Devastator Marines from Space Marines, all armed with Grav Cannons and Grav Amps and an Armorium Cherub, so one of them can fire again. And the reason why they're so good, they're generically good for all Space Marine chapters, guys. They can be good for everybody. And what makes them good is gravitic amplification. It is a stratagem, and of course standing next to a chapter master. Those two things pair so well because we all know that when you're hitting on 3s or when you're wounded on 5s, whichever one it might be, any one of them can be very, very unreliable, and also D3 damage can be very unreliable. Now, standing next to a chapter master gives them full rerolls to hit, and then gravitic amplification gives them full rerolls to wound and full rerolls on their damage. So their efficiency becomes incredibly high, their reliability becomes very, very high too. They become a very, very reliable unit. You're re-rolling everything. Absolutely every roll that you can with that unit is being re-rolled. Makes them very, very deadly. And that is just generically for everybody. Now, the most common ones you will see is one of 3. Salamanders, which will come down in a drop pod, and that's because they have a stratagem that gives them +1 to wound for their whole unit. So they are now re-rolling hits, re-rolling wounds with +1 to wound, and re-rolling damage. So Salamanders ones can be that slightly more tougher than everybody else's, and so can Iron Hands ones, guys. And that's because Iron Hands ones can count as though being in Devastator Doctrine, but that's at the start of the movement phase, so they can only do that in following turns after they survive the Grav drop. But if they come down, they get full rerolls to hit with the Chapter Master, re-rolling to wound, but then there's a stratagem that every 6 they roll to wound counts as 2 wounds, and that is only 1 command point, guys. So you'll see that being used a lot because they'll be wounding with full rerolls to wound. So mostly against tanks, they could re-rolling 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s to wound, looking for more 6s, and each 6 will count as 2 wounds, and then re-rolling damage. So Iron Hands ones can be very, very effective too. The third one that you'll see is slightly different, and that's for White Scars. And they'll be different because they won't be in a pod most of the time, they'll be in a Rhino. Reason being, that Rhino can get them into places normally because of its speed and being White Scars that drop pods normally wouldn't be able to get you into or can be screened out from. Reasons being, guys, the Rhino can move and of course advance, say a minimum, we'll go by minimums, minimum of 13 inches. Then there is a stratagem for a White Scars vehicle to move again. Not a White Scars vehicle, I just think it's a White Scars unit. But that unit can then not charge later on in the turn. So this Rhino moves again with a stratagem, and that means it's moved 25 inches. It can't advance with the second move if it's already advanced before. So it's 25 inches minimum now, the Rhino has moved. Then White Scars also have another stratagem that lets a unit disembark from a Rhino after it's moved. Well, it just lets all units in the transport disembark. So your Chapter Master can get out, and also you can get out. They've now got out 3 inches, so they've gone 28 inches minimum. Then they can move 6, that's 34 inches. Then they can also advance, because you're just getting out of transport. So minimum of 1, let's go by minimums again, guys. That's 35 inches minimum. This Grav unit has just catapulted 35 across the board. And then they could spend 1 CP, because they are White Scars, to make all heavy weapons in their unit count as assault weapons. And then White Scars no longer suffer the penalty for advancing and firing assault weapons. So Grav Bomb has gone 35 inches across the board and will fire a full efficiency. And that's just a trick that will catch a lot of people out, guys. So White Scars players, take full advantage of it. And if you're not a White Scars player, guys, don't get caught out by it. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. For how to play it, watch the video that was released in 3 days' time, and I'll be linking it in this as soon as it's out. See you later, guys.